Okay, today is October 25th, 2024, Friday. Just spent a couple hours working with Anne. We talked a lot today. We talked about the ArmBridge, how because of tension, we're learning how to release. And one way to verify is when you're doing the ArmBridge, you put your hands on your shoulders, do you feel something coming back at you? If you feel something coming back at you and you feel it in your hands, that's the listening to tell that your arm bridge energy is coming up. So during the arm bridge, when it's done right, you feel the energy always going down. You almost feel like this pulsation, this contracting that is constantly goes down. That's one of the characteristics of doing the arm bridge. And also, you don't want to have it too high or too low, because as a result, it doesn't cultivate that internal tension in the shoulders and providing that opportunity to filter that out. And also was similar how we do the zhuang. The zhuang is very similar to the arm bridge because tension is going to happen in the back leg. When it happens, that's the time to learn how to release it, like we're doing the arm bridge. Very important. And you need to keep the feet even and gentle and learn to release. And in the zhuang, we learn how to release, like the arm bridge, the both zhuangs. And you constantly have this motion internally like this. If I do it physically, it looks like this. Okay? That's an extreme, but it's an example of how people release. That's okay in the beginning, but eventually to do the same thing, you want to do it like this. Did you see anything? Probably not, because I did it internally. So I do the zhuang, I'm releasing. Did you see anything physically? The answer is no, because I'm doing it internally. And how do you know if it's done right in two-person drill? If somebody is coming into me, I'm already releasing, I can come back through the internal space. That's what's happening, and that's what I'm doing. All the Song Gong trainings, the Song Gong training, I'm constantly doing that release. I'm doing it in the internal space. Every time you do that, you'll have a muscle memory of what that feels and how you can hear it through the connection to the ground. You're doing that all the time. So that's what we're cultivating. We also worked on the Tai Chi walk today, on the 6 steps and how to do it correctly. Again, when somebody places 3% or 5% on your leg, if your mind goes to the point of contact and you're trying to move the other person, you're already working from deficit. The key is to make the internal connection, close the gap between the bottom of your feet and the hand, put your mind to where you want the target to be. Because we have a saying, yi hang hei dong. Where the mind goes, the energy goes. So as soon as I move, the person should move concurrently at the same time. If I have to move my leg 50%, then the other person moves, that means that there's already a disconnect. We also talked today about the hinge. The hinge is connected to the wall. The hinge cannot move, but the pin can move. The pin is like the chi, it's pliable, it's movable. So when you come into me at force, it's the pin that's moving that takes the energy to the back leg. So the equilibrium is always in the center. That's the third leg. It stays in the middle. If it moves, the pin moves first, and if the hinge moves, because we're humans, we can move. We always find the center of equilibrium because energy bounces. If the pin goes first, followed by the hinge, the energy can bounce back into your opponent. But if the central equilibrium moves without the pin moving, then you get stuck, because if you only go to the ground, that means that the energy cannot bounce into the internal space to return back to you. That's why it's very important to always make that internal connection, so that when you move your central equilibrium, it's the pin that's moving. But that requires a lot of practice, something that we can all do. So those, and then we also talk about the wall squats. Very similar to everything we're doing. It's the pin that allows the energy to go down, so that as you're going down, the energy doesn't bottle up and comes back up into your body. If that happens, as you're going down, you're going to go backwards. It's because the energy got stuck into the body. So doing the wall squats, if you're using the low quad, the energy will not get stuck in the body. It's the release that you're training, so that the body learns to be empty. So that's